Super Storm Saturday. Wild weather tears through the southeast and more's on the way. Late warning, why did the Weather Bureau leave us in the dark? A breakthrough in the Macleay Island murder mystery. Bus bungle, how was a little girl left at the depot? And schoolies sprung, not a good start to the party.
This is 9 News Queensland.
Good evening. It came with little warning and was over within minutes, but a wild storm's destructive force battered much of the southeast this morning. The city was directly in the firing line and more wild weather is on the way.
It rolled in from the west just after 10 o'clock this morning. Heavy, angry clouds, illuminated by powerful bright bolts. 11,000 of them, according to Energex.
That was huge, I got it.
This storm was spectacular, but the rain was unrelenting. Some areas received more than 30 millimetres within 15 minutes. There was hail and winds gusting up to 90 kilometres per hour. In the city, guests at the Rendezvous Hotel noticed water leaking through light fittings. Then a ceiling collapsed above the building's ground level.
Bit of plaster fell and then the whole roof just caved in. Shocking, absolutely shocking.
100 people were evacuated, disrupting wedding preparations and a reunion.
We're disgusting. We partied on while the roof fell in.
At one stage, there were fears Ipswich Hospital would be evacuated too when a nearby crane was struck by lightning.
I was just walking on top of the scaffold and we heard this big bang and this big flash. We started coming down.
It was a scary experience, but the main thing is no one was hurt.
It was the wrong day to park at the RNA showgrounds.
We just came out to do a bit of shopping. Yeah, so it's been an expensive morning, unfortunately.
Costly for stall holders at the Kelvin Grove markets too. Most were forced to throw away the day's takings.
The wind just blew that over and it just took out that canopy and pulled me and threw her. And
oh, it was phenomenal. The wind has come out and it was like a mini tornado, to be honest.
They weren't the only ones surprised by the severity of this storm. Even we weren't safe. Water leaked into Channel 9's Mount Cootha studios. Trees were left scattered everywhere at Downey Park and Windsor State School, where one speared through a classroom ceiling. We've seen many times before the destructive nature of Queensland's wild weather. Thankfully, this time, it seems no one has been seriously hurt. Now, that's all the major damage. There are also many shops that experienced minor flash flooding. There's debris scattered across roads that needs to be cleaned up, and there are still many fallen power lines that need to be fixed. About 13,000 Queenslanders lost power during today's storms, but Davina, it seems most of them have since had it restored.
Long night ahead though, Ashlyn. Thank you very much. We had been warned today would be thunderstorm D-Day, but the speed that blew it across the southeast caught many by surprise, even the Weather Bureau.
It didn't take a sophisticated radar to see the storm front rolling off the Toowoomba Range and across the Lockyer Valley. Mid-morning looked like early evening. No one told Ipswich disaster planners what was headed their way.
It's very late. It's sort of over. It was over for Ipswich anyway before we got the first storm warning.
It was solid rain until the storm made it to the Brisbane CBD. The winds then hit maximum velocity. The specialists responsible for issuing warnings were surprised their own building was being smashed by 90-kilometre-an-hour gusts.
The whole building was shaking here on the 21st floor.
The storm blasted over the city at 10:45. Although it had already blown across Toowoomba and Ipswich earlier, the Bureau's first official thunderstorm warning wasn't distributed until 10:51. Many of those caught by surprise are asking why there weren't more alerts.
Come on, like everyone wants a warning.
But they can't always get it right, can they?
Meteorologists at the Bureau say while they can't predict the exact time a storm will pass over individual streets, when they do see it building dangerously, they can issue alerts for suburbs in its path within just 1 minute.
We aim to provide, enough lead time that people can take cover safely. And that's our main aim.
The 30 millimetres of rain the clouds dropped coincided with a high spring tide. It's almost 4 years to the day a massive windstorm touched down, devastating the Gap. Today's alerts brought chills and flashbacks for many residents.
I thought it was going to be a repeat for a few moments there with the wind, the way it whipped up and started howling.
Like many around them, the McInernys won't relax until the forecasts are again clear. Darren Curtis, 9 News.
Well, Paul Burt joins us now, and Bertie, we've got more of this wild weather headed our way.
Yes, we certainly do there, Davina. Firstly, we'll take a look at the radar that carved its way through the city and leaving a trail of destruction earlier today. Now, you can see it pretty much made a beeline straight towards the coast. With it, a lot of smaller hail around the city, whereas out around Millmerran on the Downs region, hail up to 4 centimetres was recorded. Now, there is another storm building just to the west of Ipswich. We'll take a look at that radar right now. Now, we've already had hail up to 6, 8 and 10 centimetres in size recorded around Pittsworth near Toowoomba, along with a lot of associated heavier rainfall. So please be aware of that. Probably a good time, Davina, stay off the roads at the moment until it least passes. I'll have all the details later and more in the weather. Back to you.
See you then, Bertie. Thank you very much.